Hey, so I have this small data set about different kinds of ants, and I'll be showing you how you can prepare this data set for a programmatic SEO project. So let's see. So as of now, I have collected around I have around 15 different kinds of ants with like these data points like color, size, hierarchy, diet, aggressiveness, nesting, and distribution. So, and I have taken some notes as well. So, in this document, I have like already available data points, and then what other data points that we may need. For example, appearance. We can have a section in that article about how to identify certain kinds of ants, and about habitat and prevention, like how to get rid of mm, certain kinds of ants. And yeah, introduction, then images, like meta description. So some of these data points can be prepared by using like GPT 3.5 or GPT-4 API, and for some you'll have to do it manually, and for some you can even like do web scraping and all. So for example, in this case, this images data point, you'll have to like at least this is how I'll do. I don't know how to get like automatically get images for all the different kinds of ants. So I'll just go to Google and try to find images from there, like maybe Creative Commons images which are free to use. So mm, yeah, this is the plan as of now, but we will be modifying the plan if required. So yeah, let's go to it. So yeah, mm, I have created a sample page template of how right now how I am thinking it like will be looking once the article is generated. So here there can be an introduction. Maybe introduction will be around 50 to 60 words long, and then there will be an image of the current like type of ant that we are talking about, and then some like characteristics and detail. Let Yeah, for example, the name of the ant, so the name will be here, the color, the diet, and like I have just added these three, but you get the point, right? Like hierarchy, aggressiveness, nesting, distribution, they can be all shown in a table like this. And after that, I was thinking of adding uh, H2 heading 2 section called how to identify like ant name. For example, fire ant. So how to identify fire ant, and there can be one or two paragraph just like short description about this, and similarly like how to get rid of ant name. So these are the two sections that I have thought as of now. So let's move forward with this, and if required, we can modify it. Okay, so what will be the next step? So I think first of all we'll have to add these columns for the data points that we need. So let's go to this Google Sheets and start adding the data points that we require. For example, in this case, appearance will be the one data point that we need, and habitat. So habitat, I think we can provide some of the data from here. Yeah, we can provide nesting and distribution data, and ask ChatGPT to create a short description for the habitat. And yeah, that's habitat. Okay. Next can be prevention. Yeah, so people might also search about how to get rid of fire ant or like different kind of ants. So yeah, and that can also be described in a paragraph or two. So prevention and introduction. Yeah, of course. We will also need introduction, images, and then meta description. So let's first write meta description and maybe images after that. And so if you think like I don't know what setting you will be or like this data set will be used, but you may also want to create a slug right inside Google Sheets. So actually you might have noticed that I have written a simple formula that converts the given text into slugs. So we'll be using that to create slugs. And let me pin it so when we scroll this side it's still visible. Yeah, okay. Slug. And yeah, for now I think this is good. So this like appearance, habitat, prevention, and introduction and meta description, these five data points will be generated using AI. We will be passing some of the collected data point to the prompt so that like the output is accurate. So and these will be like images will be collected manually and then slug will be generated by using a Google Sheets formula. So okay, so the current setting like I have written a custom script for my Google Sheet. We'll not be talking much about the script here, but this is a script. I'll not be showing everything in the video, maybe in a later video, but the script directly calls the OpenAI API right inside this Google Sheet, and it takes the prompt from one column and then returns the output to like another specified column. So like I could have used um, like the same sheet to for prompts and outputs from the GPT, but I have created another sheet so that it looks clean. The overview only contains the data that we will be passing to the page template. So okay, so yeah, let's get started with this. So first of all, I'll import everything, all the collected data from like the overview tab, overview sheet to this GPT sheet. And after that, we'll be creating these like appearance and habitat data. So, so this formula will just start showing the data from the overview tab. For example, I, I can just, okay, till distribution because like we only have collected data till distribution. So let me make everything like the columns a bit broader. Okay. And okay, so now everything is bold. So like I'll hmm. So I have the data from this overview tab showing inside this GPT tab, and it's exactly the same. I just like if you see, if I click here, it's just referencing the data as overview D7. So overview D7 will exactly be the same if you see D7. So this is overview D7 and this is exactly being shown here. So yeah, we have now have the collected data inside our GPT sheet. Now let's like which is the first data point that will want appearance. Okay. And appearance is like how to identify. So in this case, let's write the prompt. Let me write like this. Appearance. and then the output, I want the output to be here. Okay, let me make these two columns bigger. So the output can be like very in the prompt can be very simple, something like mm, provide me with a two paragraph answer about how to identify carpenter ants. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Hmm. Okay, like I don't know how the output will be, but let's try. Write a very short two paragraph answer to the question how to identify. Okay, so now you'll have to like this will be the variable carpenter ants. I want carpenter ants here, so like this is how we get it. A2. So see, if you see, write a very short two paragraph answer to the question how to identify carpenter ants, and you can write further. For example, carpenter ants. Yeah, keep the answer. I have noticed that directly specifying the word count gets you better results, because like sometimes the answer will be, in this case, if you don't specify the word count, the answer will be maybe like 50 words long, or maybe like 200 words long. But if you specify the word count, like if I say keep the answer less than 100 words, so it will try to keep like around 100. So keep the answer uh, around less than 100 words. I don't know, like this is very short prompt. I think I have to pass some of these information in the prompt, but for now, let's go with it. So the column name which contains the prompt is I, and the column name which I want the output is J. Let me make it bold. I and J. So this is my Google Sheets. I'll just have to specify that the GPT prompt column is I, and one in the output should like should be shown in J. Okay, let me run the script, and it should provide me with some output. Okay, this is the output. Carpenter ants can be identified by their large size, ranging from like 0.25 to 0.5 inch length. They have a black or dark brown coloration and come. Okay, so I think I don't know like how much correct it is, because I'm not very I don't know anything about these, and so let's create a detailed prompt. Okay, I'll pass all the information that we have about. So like what information can be used for identifying the ant, like color, size. Yeah, I think color and size um, can be passed. So what I'll write is you can use the following information while writing the answer. So the one information can be the color. What was it? Color. Yeah, color. And color can be B2. Because yeah, B2 contains the color. And now 2 can be size, and size can be C2 because C2 contains the size. Okay. Hmm. So as you can see that this is the like prompt. Write a very short Keep the answer less than 100 words. You can use the following information while writing the answer. 1. Color black, red. Size 0.3 to 1 inch. So I think this will better. And this 100 words sounds too much. So let me make it 60. And now let's get the output. Okay, so now the problem is this is only using the information that I have provided, and it's not like taking anything from its own memory. So I think, how about I specify that along with what you know about it, you can also use the following information. How about now? So let me generate the output. Now distinct segment body and elbowed antenna. Yeah, I think this is better, definitely better. But but imagine if you had more data points that you could pass through the prompt, and then how like high quality the output will be. Okay. Okay, so this is the final prompt that I'm going with. It took a bit of experiment, like before it started generating almost perfect output. So this is the prompt. Write an answer to the question how to identify carpenter ants. Keep the answer less than 100 words along with what you know about it. You can also use the following information while writing the answer: the color and the size. So if now I run the like a script, this is the output that I get. And these are pretty good. Like if you want, I always recommend that you manually verify everything before you hit publish. So while manually verifying, you can add multiple paragraphs as well. For example, yeah, I can divide this in two paragraphs, and here as well. Maybe, yeah, okay. That's it. So we now have a perfect answer to this appearance thing. Now we can do the same thing for what was the column name? Habitat. Okay. So go to GPT and okay, so in this case I'm thinking that I'll pass these two information, nesting and distribution, and that may create better answer for the habitat. Or I think nesting would be enough. Okay. So I can just copy the prompt from here because the answer I want should like is exactly like very similar. Okay, so write an answer to the question. Question. Okay, write a description for write a description for habitat of carpenter ants. Keep the output instead of answer. I'm not asking a question. So keep the output less than 100 words along with what you know about it. You can also use the following information while writing the output. The one information can be nesting, which is in the column G. So and the column will be G. and let's delete everything else. Okay. Write a description for habitat of carpenter ants. Keep the output less than 100 words, like maybe 80 words in this case. Less than 80 words. Along with what you know about it, you can also use the following information while writing the output. Yeah, sounds good. So, like in my case, the like I'll have to mention the um, prompt input and then output columns K and L in here. So the column will be K and then the output will be L. And then let's run the script. Yeah, good enough. I think these answers are really good. Now let's move to the next thing. Prevention. How to get rid of, or it will be this like very similar. So I'm skipping that and let's directly move to this introduction thing. So I'll write the prompt something like, I, I'm creating a insect or maybe an insect profile page for carpenter ants, which is A2. Provide me with a two paragraph introduction for the blog post. Introduction about the A2 based on the following information. And now I can pass all the information that I have. For example, color, I can pass the color, yeah. Size, I think we'll be showing size directly in the table. So maybe color and then hierarchy, or maybe aggressiveness and then nesting. So let's pass these four data points in the like prompt. Okay, so following information. Color. The color can be, the color is like is in B2. Okay, now size. No, not size. We'll be passing hierarchy. D2. Aggressiveness. Okay. Aggressiveness is in the column F. And since we are writing for the second row, it will be F2. Okay, I'll forgot the this sign. Now the fourth data point, nesting. And nesting is in column G2. Okay, so this is the prompt. I'm creating an insect profile page for carpenter ants. Provide me with a two paragraph introduction about the carpenter ants based on the following information. Okay, so I'll mention that you can, apart from the provided information, you can also use what you already know about the topic. Let me create the same. I'm creating an insect profile page for fire ants. Provide me with 2 paragraph introduction about the fire ants based on the following information. So these are the information, and apart from the provided information, you can also use what you already know about the topic. I think this is good enough. Let's m and n. So I'll have to mention the prompt column is m, and then output column is n, and then run. Let's see. Sometimes like, oh, okay, this was the problem I was talking about earlier. If you don't mention the like word count, sometimes it creates like unnecessarily long outputs. So I'll just cancel. Keep the output under, let's say, 100 words, and do not repeat the term introduction in the output. Yeah, sometimes what it does, like it will write introduction and then provide the output. So if you write specify in the prompt that you don't want that, it will try to avoid that. And the output now should like be faster and better, I think. Okay, so like what if I directly ask that with an introduction and then specify that break the output in 2 paragraphs. I think this is better. Okay, so let's see. See, and the output now is in 2 paragraphs. To get the idea, right? Like you have to modify your prompts based on how you want the output to be. In this case, I wanted the output to be in like 2 paragraphs. So I just wrote that to provide the output in 2 paragraphs and it worked. So introduction is ready. And yeah, you need images. So in this case, like uh, you'll have to get the images by yourself, like manually. At least that is what I would do. So like if we are talking about carpenter ants, you can just Google carpenter ants and let's go to the images section. And like some of these images might be like you cannot directly use them. So you can just go to usage rights and Creative Commons license. So these are the images that you can directly use without any restrictions. So see, I have this image, beautiful image, like high resolution image that I can like directly use inside my project. I can just copy the image address and paste inside my data. Like this is the image like URL, and you can directly use the URL inside your project, inside the pages that you will be creating. So yeah, appearance was in the column J. So I can just reference back here. For example, GPT J2. Now appearance is here. Habitat. So I think, yeah, habitat is in the column L. Again, like not K, L. This is the habitat. So I have not created prevention in this case, but I have created the introduction. So introduction is in the column N. So you can just uh, like GPT N2. So this is the introduction. This is the introduction, and you can create prevention letter, and then you can reference to that cell. And now you can also create meta description. So let me go back to the GPT column, GPT sheet, and okay, meta description. Hmm. So how you can write the prompt? The prompt can be something like write a 150 characters meta description for the blog post title. You can specify the title of the blog post. No, like mm, for the insect profile of, yeah, you can mention the carpenter ants here that I am creating. Uh, yeah, let's keep it like this and see if the output is good enough. O and P, the column names are O and P, so I'll have to mention the prompt column name and then the output column name. And I think it should work. Yeah, I think it's good. Actually, what I'll do is like let's calculate the length by using a Google Sheet formula called len. So len is a function which calculates the number of characters. So in this case, yeah, I told it to write under 150 characters, but it's showing that it's 171. So sometimes it's um, like more like higher number of characters. Even though I specified that I want the meta description to be under 150 characters, it will go up. So this will help. Like if some like the if the meta description is higher than what you have specified, then you can just delete and ask to recreate, like rerun the script, and it will, yeah, this time it's like under 150 characters. So if everything is done, what I have to do is just like, okay, this is difficult, like sometimes. So what I do is I just make it smaller and then do like this. And since like after the you create prompts for all the columns, you just run the script and it keeps like it will start generating everything in the background. Like even if you like close the sheet, it will keep generating. So if I run the script, you'll see that the outputs will start coming. And meanwhile, I can just go to this overview and let me make it bigger and just bring down everything so that keeps going. Yeah, so like the meta description is generated, so I just have to reference it here. Like the column is P, so in the, yeah, let me make it P. So now we also have the meta descriptions, and yeah, we have all the like things being generated by using the OpenAI API. You can see the meta description. Yeah, and I have like created a formula which creates slugs of any text you pass it. For example, in this case, I want my slugs to be the names of these ants. So I'll just paste the formula here, and yeah, the A2 is already written, which is this. So now I can just, you can see that it takes care of everything, even if there is like bracket, then it took care of that as well. So yeah, it's good. And there you have it. You all have your dataset ready to be used inside your programmatic SEO project. So the if you see, everything is being generated, and within like maybe 10-15 minutes all the data will be ready. You just review it once manually, uh, make any modifications if required, and you are good to go. So that's it. See you in the next video. Bye.